Hello guys, welcome back to another YouTube video here today, and today we are going over infinite crit cache. So how your crit's basically gonna work. So you're not gonna hit infinite crits like this. I don't know if you will get, yeah, so you'll get, and then you hit all crits. And you do tons and tons of damage, and you can proc windfall like super easy. Actually insane and it does tons of damage, but it's a lot of fun. And you also, with this gun, I'm going to explain a little bit. This gun, you're going to want to waste some ammo, basically. See where we at right now? We're at 3 stacks. So you're going to want this up to 5 stacks when you're taking down bosses with this gun. So then you have like maximum ricochets. So you're not getting... See, I don't even know what shit you're getting is insane. And way more damage. Alright. So we're gonna go over the build now. We are using the shut-in ambushing Shalaska, which is the gun you just seen. That is what you need to do that because this gun's special effect is on auto reload, grants a stack of exhilaration. Each stack of exhilaration increases the number of possible of ricochets by 1. So and it resets on manual reload. So if you're just if you're just letting the gun reload by itself, no remain reload it, you will keep your ricochets, which is really good. And then you can also use the shoot and scoot with Jacobson Ripper. This with stickies, it's really good. You can also switch to impact if you want. Impact is a option. You don't really need to use stickies, but I recommend definitely getting the Jacobson Ripper because the stickies version, just because it will come with impact that way. And we're using the Rainmaker. This one is Torque Sticky, Torque Impact, and Jacobs and shotgun ammo. This is really good. This is a lot of fun to use. It does tons and tons of damage. And then we're using for the crystals, we are using the linebacker, and this is like super duper good. It takes out the crystals, any crystals or night enemies, all those really fast. And then we're using the replicator. This recuperator. We're mostly using the replicator for enrage. You can basically use whatever replicator you really want. This is the one I chose to use. You can use one of amp, enrage, whatever you want, really. And then we're using a crit knife, which you don't really need, but you can use the crit knife to guarantee your crits. So you can guarantee your ricochets if you don't have your action skill, but you will always have your action skill. So that's not too big of a concern. And then for the enhancement, we are using the Head Ringer gun with Torgelice and parts to get 25% damage and 100% damage radius. This one has gun damage, and pistol splash radius. And this is super good for your freaking Shalaska, and it also benefits the shooting scoot too, because obviously the pistol damage is really good and gun damage is really good. So that's super nice. But the Shalaska super benefits from this because the ricochets will absolutely just melt everything. And then we're using the triple siphon watch for dinner. So I will explain why we're using the triple siphon watch for dinner in a little bit, but there is a very specific reason why we're using this, not just because of survivability, but there is another reason. And then we're using a Happy Go Lucky Wind Rider, one of the five in from Go to Gloom, and 2 in the dealer's buff, because dealer's buff I recommend getting, just because have it on your class mod, because it's just really nice for the extra action skill cooldown. And this one also has kinetic damage and damage dealt, so those are really nice. So I'm going to immediately explain why we're using the triple siphon watch for dinner. So this right here is a cache gains an increased elemental effect chance. Whenever cache applies an elemental effect, it gains a chance to increase a stack of fortune. Now, we have another skill over here, is fortune skill, increase elemental effect. Fortune stacks increase windfall. So when this skill highly increases our windfall chance other than this. So this gives us like almost guaranteed windfall just using 2 in here. That is why we are using the triple siphon watch for dinner with these 2 skills. So now we're going to go over the entire skill tree. We're using 5 in Luck B Robot, and this gives you more action skill cooldown. The more fortune stacks you have, greater the bonus, so this is really nice. And then we're using 5 in Or Fortuna. Fortune stacks gain increased windfall chance, fortune kill, cash gains increased elemental effect chance, elemental damage, and then more of the bonus. So the elemental damage does not really matter, but I guess we're getting more shock damage theoretically from this, from our watch for dinner. And the elemental effect chance is nice because that gives us more fortune stacks, so that is beneficial. And then we're using 4 in riding high, so we have windfall duration bonus, which is really nice. Then we use 1 in luckless, so when we activate our action skill near enemy, they become jinx. So when we're bossing, we can make the enemy become jinx. This is really good. And then we're using can't stop winning, 1 point in here, so that gives us more windfall chance. 1 point in here, so we have more damage dealt to jinx enemies. 5 in tormented, so we get bonus for more critical damage against jinx enemies, which is really nice. And then we're using 4 in graveyard shift, where we have more action cooldown per jinx enemy. This is really good. And then we're using call. So whenever Cash activates his action skill, he and his bone totems automatically critically hit jinx enemies. So you got to have the enemy jinxed in order for your crits to work. So you have to at least activate your action skill near the enemy for your crits to work. I don't know. It doesn't look like we're gonna do that. I see there. Sometimes you gotta damage them first. These dummies are kind of weird. And then we're using 5 in Unleash with fire rate. 5 in your Huckleberry for more critical hit damage, which is really good. 5 in Shootist, so you get 25% gun damage. And then 5 in Lawless for more kinetic damage, which is really good. 3 in War Wagon, so we have a chance to refill our ammo when we're shooting, so we can spam the gun, which is really nice. 5 in Shaking, Cash gains increased damage from all sources, every fortune stack he lost. And then we're using from Glow into Glow. This is converted, all portion of damage Cash is dealt to enemies is converted to Overshield. Whenever Cash loses a fortune stack, shots from his gun deals bonus damage. It is equal to his overshield. Overshield of damage taken. Bonus damage 140 of current shield. Overshield. Also, the triple watch for dinner benefits that too. And then for specializations, bullets of scatter me. The best defense. Riddle you this. And then we're using contamination. You could swap off to this if you in the zone if you want to aim. But I'm using contamination because this gives us more status effect chance, which means more chance of applying our element. So that means more fortune stacks gained from getting the element applied. Yeah, we're just shooting them. We're just gaining fortune stacks. We know we can't gain any more fortune stacks because we're at max fortune stacks. But basically, we're talking fortune. There we go. But basically, we lost our fortune stacks. Basically, when you're shooting the enemy, you're always going to gain fortune stacks, which is super good. So, I hope you guys enjoy this YouTube video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.